this video, we'll be talking about the adaptive drumming, or should I say, being an adaptive drummer. Now, what do I mean by adaptive drummer? Here, we mean a drummer that can able to understand your ability to understand the environment, understand your audience, and know how and when to switch volumes. Now, there are cases where you are in the front of an audience of 1,000, maybe 2,000, or audience of 500, audience of 250, or maybe it's just a small church group, or a small house group, a group of five. It's important that you understand how to switch your volume. Now, it's true that the drums doesn't really have a volume knob, but you as a drummer, you need to understand when to reduce the volume and as well keep the groove going. So I will give you some tips on what to do, when you are faced with such a situation. Take for instance, if you're in a gig of 1,000 people, there you can play full drums, full snare, full groove with everything, all your fills and rolls and your syncopations, with no issues, because you're actually playing to a crowd and the volume is high and the intensity is high. Now, in case where you have 200 people or 100 people, and definitely the hall might not be as large as what you use for 1,000 people, there you can decide to reduce the volume or reduce the intensity of your stickings. Take for instance, if where you're meant to play full snare, you could as well switch to your cross sticks or you switch to your rim shots. And in as much as you switch, you must ensure that you keep the groove and keep the tempo and keep the timing, and also follow your clicks in case you're playing with your clicks. Because once you deviate from either of this, you actually spoil the groove. So it's important that you keep your groove going. Now, in a case where you have probably 100 people or say 50 people, or maybe you have you're in a group where you have senior citizens who won't really enjoy the high intensity of music like the youths. You see, you could as well switch to your brush. Here the intensity will be low and it won't be piercing to the ears. And but in the course of switching, you must also remember, maintain the groove, maintain your timing, maintain the tempo, and keep the groove locked in. It's very important, because once you switch, there must always be that steady movement. Remember, you are the timekeeper, so your timing is of importance. Now, where you have probably a house fellowship of maybe you just have 5 to 10 people, definitely you might not really set up the full drums. You could either just have your snare and maybe probably your cymbal, maybe the right cymbal, and in such a case you could as well just go percussive. You see, you're not playing full drums, but you are actually giving the rhythm, because remember, as a drummer, you are actually in charge of the rhythmic section of the music. So everything that has to do with the music, has to do with the rhythm, comes from you first. Every other musician just follows suit. So you could just, as I said, you could switch to your percussive play. Probably use your shakers, maybe use your tambourines, and maybe, as I said, you still switch to using your brush. But in all, you have to still remember, keep the groove locked in, keep the clicks in check, because you are the bridge where other instruments and other musicians are actually riding on.